Good evening, everybody. Tonight we will be watching the movie The Hangover for Antisocial Commentary, episode number 11. So let's go right ahead and jump into the unrated version of The Hangover. So if you're going to watch the movie with me, it's the unrated version on Blu-ray that I am watching. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. First of all, tradition is what tradition is. The Hangover, 2009, Antisocial Commentary, episode number 11. Action! Yeah, there you go. Good enough, good enough. We're going to start the movie right now in, which go? 3, 2, 1, play. All right, here we go. Now, I didn't exactly do my homework when it comes to this movie, but I love this movie a lot. Like, it's one of the best comedies of all time, and that has been proven with its world record, which is the highest grossing R-rated comedy in the US since it was released in June 5th, 2009. And I love this opening title sequence because it's a little bit of Todd Phillips' misdirection. He said that he wanted to pick the handwriting, things like that, just to kind of have that contrast of, hey, this movie looks like it's going to start off all fancy and nice and sweet, and then it's a big clusterfuck of hungover proportions. But yeah, it's great. I would consider this my favorite Todd Phillips movie, but it is really difficult to decide. Very difficult to decide. He's such a good director. I'm only going to bring up the movies that I like by him. We got War Dogs, The Hangover 1, 2, and 3, Due Date, School for Scoundrels, Starsky and Hutch, Old School, Road Trip. All of them are amazing. That gentleman there is Jeffrey Tambor. And you probably already know that. He's such a legend. He's been in everything, video games, cartoons, shows, movies, ever since like 70s, I think. It was like And Justice for All. He was in And Justice for All with Al Pacino. It's awesome. But yeah, a big fancy intro only to pick up the phone to a disheveled and roughed up Phil. So good. And then the opening sequence using the song 13 by Danzig. So good. I grew up as a big Misfits fan, and particularly Glenn Danzig and Michael Graves. Like, those two eras are so fucking good. And this is Danzig's like own thing, but it's such a good song. Covered this song a couple times. Starts to itch, black gon' turn to red. My Danzig impression is not up to par quite quite of late, but yeah, man, I love Vegas movies. As you can tell, like yesterday we watched Smokin' Aces, and Smokin' Aces is just another beautiful Vegas movies. But the glamour of Las Vegas, like, that's like I love those old school like times of, like, like Amarillo Slim and all that stuff back in the day, Doyle Brunson and all those crazy gamblers back in the day when it was run by gangsters and now it's run by corporations. You've seen the movie Casino, right? With Robert De Niro and all that stuff there. Joe Pesci. It's like Goodfellas Part 2. But yeah, it's really good. And there's Zach, very talented comedian slash actor, not actor slash comedian. Yeah, we got Zach Galifianakis and Justin Bartha on the same screen here. And yeah, like Zach Galifianakis, he has so many funny jokes and shit like that on Between Two Ferns. And I love his special when he's playing the piano and stuff like that, where Galifianakis starts with a gal, ends with a kiss. And apparently, Zach Galifianakis told Todd Phillips, "I want to wear the jock strap," and then ever since then, Todd, Zach Galifianakis has been like, "Oh God, I regretted that." But for comedy, it worked out for a good, quick, cheap laugh. But I think it's I love that part. Sorry, I was just waiting for that part. I don't care if we kill someone, but um, apparently Galifianakis said to his mother, "Please don't go see this movie. Please don't go see it." And then I think it's because of scenes like him with the jock strapping his ass out. I think I think that's why. But but yeah, man, Jeffrey Tambor, he's just such a legend. Like he's in so many. Like I thought I heard his voice in like Archer and all that stuff. So it's like there's so many legends in this movie. The way there are so many legends in the movie we watched yesterday, Smoking Aces. And there's a bit of a connection between Smoking Aces and what you call it there, the Hangover. Let's play the connection game. Jeremy Piven was in the movie Smoking Aces, and Jeremy Piven was in the movie Old School with Todd Phillips directing, and Todd Phillips directs The Hangover, and that's how we connect the movies. I have never seen Justin Bartha in anything else. He reminds me of Mark Normand, which is cool. Love Mark Normand, but it's like I've never seen Justin Bartha in anything else other than The Hangover. And I really appreciated that one joke by Family Guy where they're like, "Oh, it's that Justin Bartha movie, The Hangover." It's like nobody calls it that. But the way Bartha plays his character in The Hangover, like there's a wholesomeness to it. The first guy getting married here and all that stuff. Like his character seems stand up, and you want them to find him is kind of what I'm saying here. That Mercedes was actually in Starsky and Hutch, another movie directed by Todd Phillips, and I'm not too sure which Mercedes was stolen. But apparently, while they were filming The Hangover, there was a Mercedes that was stolen, and then the next day, they found it and returned it to the set. But yeah, that part right there, he particularly reminds me of Mark Norman. Was like, yeah, comedy. I love the realistic approach of the teacher. Like for comedy's sake, Todd Phillips he makes the teacher seem like a scumbag for taking all of the what you call it, field trip money and taking it to Vegas. Like for comedy's sake, he does that. But there is a certain like your teachers are real people and stuff like that. So that's what I like about it. I mean, your teachers want to go party on the weekend and stuff just like anybody else. So give them a break. There's this like the written on the chalkboard, cash only. There was an interview. There was an interview with like Zach Galifianakis, I believe it was, or where he. uh, but yeah, there's a thing that Zach Galifianakis did an interview where they asked, why was your character like banned from being near a school? And Zach Galifianakis said it was because he was innocently trying to play with a couple of kids in the playground, and it was a big misunderstanding, and everybody thought he was creepy for doing that, is what the answer was. And I can see Alan as the character, as that almost like overly sweet, but at the same time, like just weird character. Like I can see him do that. It's funny. Todd Phillips has been noted saying that Alan was nice to people who are mean to him, and then mean to people who are nice to him, and stuff like that. So it's a good character. And Ed Helms here, like this Ed Helms character, so fucking relatable. You ever have like a bro or somebody who's in a relationship and she's mean? Like, it's totally relatable, but the way Todd Phillips writes it, like as a hyperbole for that kind of relatable situation, just it works out so perfectly, especially when they're filming this, I think in Las Vegas at 8:00 in the morning, and like Phil, Alan, and like they're about to roll up, and he's about to say Dr. Faggot to him. It's pretty funny. So good. And I'll try not to do that again. Like the way I brought up the funny part before it came, I'll try not to do that again. I'll try to have it afterwards as a reflection from now on. That woman, Sasha Bareilles, I think that's how you pronounce her name. And just her like taunting, like what you call it, Stu there, just her taunting Stu, like that's a good idea, Dr. Fake. Just it cuts so deep. That girl must be a star among her friends, though. I mean, like, hey, you were in the Hangover movie. And that part where Alan's screaming out the car of Vegas, two things. Number one is to establish that Alan is not like the other three. He's a little bit different. And number two, when my buddies and I go to concerts in like different cities and stuff like that, like if we go to a concert in Winnipeg, when we're driving to Winnipeg, I'll do that Zach Galifianakis thing, but I'll be like, "Woo, Winnipeg!" There's a really good parody movie. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Hungry Games or something like that. And the guy in the Hungry Games, when they're doing a parody of like Stu and Alan. When he does the parody of Stu, it's really good. Like that "good to know," like that part. So funny. Check out the Hungry Games, I think is what it's called. If you get a chance, it's a good Hangover parody in there. But yeah, that's like Todd Phillips said. He's mean to people who are nice to him, and That old man was just so nice to him. It's hilarious. Trying to find the gas price of those gas pumps in 2009, but I don't see any per gallon or per liter. I love how Stu kind of justifies his trauma bond. Yeah, in my experience, when women cheat, they go the whole way. So whatever they say to you after they cheat is gonna be a lie and like a just to make you feel better, shit like that. But that's one of my favorite lines. Not the masturbating on an airplane line, but the line where he says, "It's not gambling when you know you're going to win." Like that's one of my favorite lines in this movie for sure. While filming that, while filming that, Todd Phillips was like, "What?" And then after the performance, he was like, "Oh, I get it. Okay, that's hilarious." And I called Zach Galifianakis a genius for that. And there's definitely some genius in Zach Galifianakis's comedy for real, for real. I'm trying to think of my favorite Zach Galifianakis movie other than The Hangover. It'll be the other Todd Phillips movie, Due Date, or Out Cold. It's one of those two. It's one of those two. The Campaign, I wasn't overly certain about the what you call it, the southern accents and stuff like that. Right now they're checking into the legendary Caesar's Palace Hotel, and like 2024 and before, Caesar's was like home to the World Series of Poker. So a lot of legends passed through there. The Negranus and Helmuths of the world and Tony G's. And this room is crazy. This price of the room is crazy. I'm curious to know how much the price of a hotel room in Vegas at the Caesar's Palace is. Let's check it out if I can get it. I'll ask. I'll ask Caesar's right now.
Thank you for calling Caesar's Palace. Para español oprima el número 9, por favor. If you are a member of our Caesar's Rewards program, please press 1. If not, please press 2.
Just the way that like Stu is afraid to live his life because of his girlfriend though, like that is so relatable. Like you don't want to disappoint her and you don't want to get into arguments and shit like that. It reminds me of Phil Hartman, the passiveness that he has.
Are you calling to make a new reservation or to inquire about rates and availability?
Inquire about
Say yes
rates
or-
and availability.
Are you calling to make a new reservation or to inquire about rates and availability?
Yes. The soundtrack is a really good choice. Well, this call is already being recorded by Caesar's Palace, so I'm not even going to bring it up that I'm recording that. Don't get me in trouble.
Amalfi transports guests to the Mediterranean with an inviting blend of coastal ease, vibrant flavors, and impeccable. The next available representative will be with you shortly.
But yeah, this hotel room that they make up in the Caesar's Palace, they just kind of like made it up. It's not the actual hotel room. They basically saw a bunch of hotel rooms they like, and they put things that they like in this room to make it look all badass and tricked out. And just the way that Stu has to lie in order just to have a good time. So sad.
Thank you, Caesars Las Vegas. This is Amanda. How can I assist you?
Hello, I was wondering of Caesar's Palace Hotel there, like, what is your most expensive room for like one night, and like just like what are like what makes it awesome?
So it would probably be the suite most guests know as the Hangover suite.
Oh, the Hangover suite. That's awesome.
But the price vary depending on the days you're interested in.
Is it available tonight? How much is it tonight?
Let me see if it's available. For how many guests?
Just two.
For tonight, it's not available.
Okay, that's too bad. Like, if it was available tonight, how much would the price be? I was just curious.
So if it was available tonight, the price would have been $4,105.
Wow, that's awesome.
Resort fees and taxes.
Cool. So it's like in the movie, it says it's like $4,000 or something like that, and that's pretty awesome. Okay, cool. I was just wondering about that. And while I got you online, I was wondering one more question. What is your cheapest room?
It would be our run of the house room, which means you get either one king bed or two queen beds at check-in.
Right.
Just depending on what's available.
Let's say one queen size bed, one regular room. How much is that usually?
So Julius, with a pool view, one king bed, the room rate is at $120.
$120.
For the nightly resort fee of $54.95 and taxes.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for your time. You have a good day. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dude, that's awesome. That is fucking awesome. So tonight you could rent the Hangover suite at the Caesar's Palace Hotel for $4,000, and it'll probably look something like the real movie. There's the man himself, Todd Phillips, going down on a lady in the elevator. It's so good. And yeah, I apologize if this recording of the Caesar's Palace Hotel thing is against whatever, but they're recording it on their end. So since I recorded it on my end, like we both recorded it, I know I'm supposed to be like, hey, I'm recording you, but if they request for me to move take it off or whatever, I'll do that. I don't want any trouble. I just wanted to figure out what the price for that actual Hangover hotel room is, and it's the exact same price in the movie. It's the exact same price in the movie. That's awesome. $4,000, and it's pretty awesome. I've never noticed Alan's little strut towards the wolf pack before. I love that about Todd Phillips, the way he can add like a sentimental value towards a scene, like That was good. It's that look that Cooper gives after he interrupts him so good. It's a good little speech that Alan has here, so let's go listen to it. Hell yeah. Yeah, man, the unhinged Alan just makes this movie pop, and then just everything in this movie kind of like I've explained perfect movies before. Everything just perfectly aligned for this movie to be the best of the best when it comes to rated R comedies in theaters. Oh, you see the win in the back, and what was that? I can't tell if that was Excalibur or if that was the win, but I know that the win in Las Vegas is the home of Las Vegas's Biggest Loser. And Las Vegas's Biggest Loser was a Terrence Watanabe, and he lost between 200 million and 350 million in between there, and like over like a year or some shit like that. I can't remember what it was, but he would go there and gamble and gamble, and after he lost all that money, he tried to get some of it back with some sort of lawsuit saying that they gave him drinks and all that shit. But that's Vegas, baby. If you gamble, like, it's serious business. But yeah, Terrence Watanabe. It's a good story to look into. Go give that a search. Terrence Watanabe, Las Vegas's Biggest Loser, and Las Vegas's biggest jackpot winner was actually at the Excalibur, and it was about $39.7 million. And just like, wow, could you imagine going to Vegas? And I don't know how much they have to put in order to win $39 million, but it's still pretty fucking like, wow, unbelievable. My guess is the person who won the $39 million was like a millionaire going into Vegas, but it's hard to tell, right? Little Monster Energy commercial right there. Yeah, I love that scene. The old chicken in the back there. But yeah, like the soundtrack is really good, and just just the way they're waking up all hungover. Like, I remember being in my 20s and partying hard, and then like, oh man, some hangovers are just such a good movie, so relatable. I think everybody kind of gets blackout drunk at least once in their life, and then has a big hangover and can relate to this movie, which is why I think so many people bought tickets to it. And I love how out of it Alan is. So out of it. Does that little double take, right? Let's try to look for the weirdest item in the room. There's a house of cards. See, room service. Pyramid of cans. Spartan helmet. Two bras hanging off the light in the background. Another Monster energy drink commercial. The reason that his missing tooth looks so realistic is that he has a fake implant there, and he took that fake implant out for the movie. Still looking at the room. What's all inside of it? Yeah, the weirdest things in those rooms, like it's the chicken and the tiger. And honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't just throw the chicken into the bathroom, but that would have been cruel. Like, to get the tiger to eat. Stuff a bunch of drugs down the chicken's throat and then throw the chicken to the tiger. That's sure. The introduction of Carlos. Aw. Real tears, poor little guy. Check its collar. Yeah, for Carlos, they used a pair of twins, and they used a dummy when they needed to portray Carlos. Vegas, baby. I love that, like the unhinged guy, the cool guy, and then the worrier guy, and then like just the three characters trying to look for their friend, their nice friend that you care about because he was nice throughout the beginning of the movie. Like it's a good story, like story structure wise and all that stuff. Like not just about the crudeness and the hilarity, like in the comedy, but it's actually a good story structurally. See that lady's all nice to him, and Zach is mean to her. That's awesome. Man, that kid playing Carlos must get all the ladies now. Like this was filmed in 2009. And that kid looks like, what, he's like 1 or 2. And it was 2026, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably 18 right around now, and he's probably like, hey, I was in The Hangover. You know what I mean? Like, him and his twin brother or whatever. They're probably like, hey, I was in The Hangover. And now, you know, it's there. Good for him. Good for him. Hell yeah. I like. Oh, I kind of miss being that hungover. Like, I haven't been that hungover since I was 24 or something like that. Where it's like, you wake up and then somebody mentions alcohol, and you're like, been a while since I've been that drunk and hungover. I mean. Kind of want a hot dog after seeing that hot dog. I always wanted to go to the Bellagio, like like Caesar's Palace. Yes, it's like the bro place to go. That's where everybody wants to go, kind of thing. But I grew up watching the World Poker Tour, and because I grew up watching the World Poker Tour, like I know that Gus Hansen and Daniel Negreanu and Antonio Svendiari, like they have all won championships at the Bellagio because that's where the WPT goes often, right? And as for Caesars, they used to own the WSOP, and I loved it for that. But now WSOP is owned by the same company, I think, that owns GG Poker. So I guess I would choose the Bellagio just because I love poker that much. But this movie does make Caesars look phenomenal, and I would love to try the Hangover suite for $4,000 if I ever become a millionaire. Yeah, right there. I'm pretty sure, like if you're super smart, you can put together that, he's on the roof there. But that looked like Kevin Dillon. I think that's Kevin Dillon. But if not, it looked like him. And loved him in Entourage. Yeah, I think it's really like a good choice for or for them to put glasses on Carlos. Makes the baby look that much more cuter. It's funny. Oh, I've always loved that crudeness of Todd Phillips movies, like when the comedy is like, the baby gets her, something stupid like that. Like I always love that crudeness because there's a quote by Todd Phillips, and he says, "All my movies, as I get the ability to do them, they tend to go a little darker, a little darker." And yeah, just to see his comedy evolve, and then I guess it kind of ended at. I feel like the Todd Phillips like prime comedy era kind of ended at The Hangover Part 3, but yeah, then after that he had like Joker and stuff like that. I don't want to go into that, but yeah. That's a good quote though by Todd Phillips. All my movies, as I get the ability to do them, get a little darker, a little darker. It's a good one. Love that line. I should have been a fucking cop. Me too. Me too. Man, I do not know this guy's name. This guy is hilarious. He's in a lot of he's in Todd Phillips movies all the time. I'm gonna fucking look it up right now. The Hangover. Like that doctor, he's so funny in Old School, and Well, he's so funny in Old School. I know that, but I can't remember where else. But like that guy's funny. I want to know his name. But yeah, and Old School. He was like, I go golfing every Wednesday or something. It's like, I hate golf. One of those guys is funny. Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is the doctor. Now I know his name. Like, I know Rob Riggle's name. Why don't I know Matt Walsh's name, right? Matt Walsh is funny. Oh, yeah, he was also in Ted. Hell yeah. Was he the guy who had friends with Tom Skerritt? I think that was the guy who's personal friends with Tom Skerritt. Fuck yeah, Ted is so good. Matt Walsh is awesome. I love that moment where Bradley Cooper is like, where he thought he might have been raped or whatever. God damn, that's crazy. Sorry, I like this part. It's funny. So good. Yeah, man. Matt Walsh is in a lot of Todd Phillips movies, and it's cool when Todd Phillips uses like the same actors from other movies that he has filmed and stuff like that. Like in The Best Little Chapel, like we're about to see Bryan Callan. There he is. Bryan Callan is so funny in the Hangover franchise. Yeah, I always wanted to get married in Las Vegas. I always thought that would be fucking cool. Let's look it up here. Let's look it up. James Bond theme wedding, Las Vegas. So, for a James Bond theme, I just picked one. Let's see. Instead of James Bond, let's go with Elvis packages. Get 70% off. Okay, so if you hire just Elvis in Las Vegas, the sale price is $199 American, which is pretty cool. I mean, you got to bring your bring your ID, a couple of guests, and then you get a free Elvis marriage certificate and free Elvis sunglasses, witnesses if you need, stuff like that. And then you get the Elvis experience for $299. What is the upgrade for the Elvis experience? Ordained Elvis impersonator. That's for both. Music, both guests. Let's see. I think it's like the online, the online gallery photographs and stuff like that. And you can have use of bride and groom rooms. What does that mean? Those rooms you can go fucking after after you do the ceremony and you need to. No, I don't know what they are. It's change rooms probably, I guess. So yeah, for an extra $100 you can use the change room. No, but that's the Elvis package. At what chapel was it there? I might as well plug it while I'm at it here. The Little Neon Chapel in Las Vegas. You can get married for $200 tonight. And then you can go spend $4,000 at the Caesars Palace Hotel for the hangover room. Hell yeah. Man, I love it when Bryan Callan plays like the foreign character. What? No love for Eddie. Stuff like that. It's good. The only reason, the only motive for Stu is his trauma bond with his girlfriend Melissa. Because if he was a single dude, he'd be like, well, I'll put my tooth back in later. I'll get an implant, whatever. I'll make that money back. I'm a dentist. Melissa is hot, though. That actress playing Melissa is hot. So I think that's her name. Like, the character they give her, like, that's not attractive. Like her lines, but like as a person, like she's pretty. She's hot. And Todd Phillips was noted by saying that he wanted to make his Stu's girlfriend seem like a bit darker than like darker thematically, like just like overall than compared to the light that is Heather Graham, who is all like bright blonde hair, blue eyes, stuff like that, right? So if that makes sense. Sorry. Aw. That baby's cry is so authentic there. Makes me wonder if if he was just crying naturally or if they had to do something to make him cry. I was watching Bryan Callan, what you call it? Bryan Callan or Callahan? I'm tired. I gotta look up. I'm getting his name wrong, I think. I just seen a special too where he said he was like funnier than God and all that stuff. He's so funny, dude. Okay, I got it right. It's Bryan Callan. I don't know why I thought it was Callahan for a second there. Crossed wires with Tommy Callahan or something. I don't know. There are a lot of guys out there who would love to meet a woman like that and just have some sort of like twisted relationship that just starts off one night. There are tons of guys who would love that. I would love that. Heather Graham's so beautiful. Like in Boogie Nights. Check out Boogie Nights. She's so hot in Boogie Nights. What else? Oh yeah, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. She's really good in that one too. She was in Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me, like when I was a teenager, just blew my mind when she was doing that dance to the like 60s songs and all that stuff. But Todd Phillips does choose a lot of really, or at least the casting director or whatever, like, and I guess Todd Phillips gets the final say, so Todd Phillips does get a lot of beautiful women in his movies. Like Heather Graham in this one, Amy Smart in Road Trip, right? Juliette Lewis in Old School. Juliette Lewis in Due Date. Anyway. I was looking at the picture right next to Stu. There's a guy sticking his tongue out like this. It's funny. What? Who's that? So did she leave the baby in the closet in the hotel room? Like, what a jerk. Because she said that she went to go and get coffee for them or whatever. So, like, to see. But yeah, like, did the stripper leave the baby in that closet? Like, what the hell? But yeah, I think Rob Riggle, like the legend Rob Riggle, if I'm not mistaken, he was either in the army or in law enforcement, somewhere down those lines, like, and just to see him always playing like a cop or something, usually, I mean, like when he plays a cop, it's flawless. But he's also really funny in like Step Brothers and 21 Jump Street when he makes like Dave Franco make him his bitch or something. But yeah, Rob Riggle is just so hilarious, dude. And that lady that he was with, that's Cleo King. Yep, I've been at the station a couple times there. And yeah, I know. Cops are just doing their jobs with the information that they're told, and sometimes people fucking lie. But it is what it is. I always wanted to be a cop when I was like before I got framed. That's one of my favorite jokes in the entire movie. And that woman beside Rob Riggle, yeah, that's Cleo King, and she's so good in Road Trip, where she gives Amy Smart she gives Amy Smart advice about how men are assholes, and then she gives her a vibrator to keep right publicly on the bus. So she's always playing some crude and hilarious kind of character. And Rob Riggle and Cleo King's character, like characters in this movie, awesome. Todd Phillips asked Bradley Cooper, was this scene hard, Bradley? Because he had to convincingly look like he convinces those cops to let him go. And then Bradley was like, nah, it was easy. Pro. Speaking of Bradley Cooper, let's go down a couple movies of Bradley Cooper that I like. And in Wedding Crashers, he was a really good jerk. He was an asshole in that movie, but he was funny. Midnight Meat Train, very good movie. American Sniper, so good. Silver Lining Playbook, that was all right. That was good. It's like one of the few Jennifer Lawrence movies that I actually really like. And then American Hustle with like Christian Bale and Amy Adams, I think it is, or something. But yeah, it's either Amy Adams or Isla Fisher. They're the same person. I don't know but yeah, like Bradley Cooper's awesome. He recently directed a movie called Is This Thing On, where Will Arnett plays a character going through kind of a divorce, and he starts finding solace in stand-up comedy. It's really good. So yeah, in this scene, they wanted to use a real taser, but Warner Brothers wisely said no go on the real taser, and they elected to use the fake taser, stuff like that. Yeah, Robin Cleo cackling at them like that's so classic, dude. Man, I want a soda. I'm trying not to have like soda and fucking sorry, I don't shut up either. But trying to have some try not to have any soda this month, but I'm on day 1. I'll give up tomorrow. Yeah, I love how they kind of build that anticipation that the car is probably fucked up. God, that's a beautiful car. Now I gotta know the exact make and model. Like, I know it's a Mercedes, but what kind of Mercedes is in the movie The Hangover 2009? Silver 1965 Mercedes-Benz 220 SE Cabriolet. Hell yeah. Famously borrowed by Doug's father-in-law to drive to Las Vegas. Cool. Dirty old used condom. There's a condom trick that if you take your phone out of your phone case and then you put half of the condom in the phone case and then you hang it through one of the vents in your vehicle, you can just have it hang there. But don't let other normal people see you using a condom to hang your phone instead of just buying a fucking, holder for it. Yeah, Ken Jeong he's just a class act, even though like in this part just he goes the full Monty here. But he's so funny. He's so hilarious in Community and all that stuff there. And while filming The Hangover, his wife Trang, I believe her name is, she had cancer and she was going through a really hard time, trying to recover and all that stuff there. And Bradley Cooper ended up driving Ken Jeong to Los Angeles to go and be with his wife Trang, while in between their filming and all that stuff. So just another class act move by Bradley Cooper, and just an interesting behind the scenes tidbit for Ken Jeong. And good news though, his wife Trang, as far as I know, had a full recovery and all that stuff. As far as I know, so good news, and just nice to see how caring Cooper is as a person as well. I like the Chris Angel. There's like a Chris Angel ad in the background there off of one of the pyramids. I wonder how much Chris Angel is if he's still in Las Vegas now. Is Chris Angel still in Las Vegas? Yeah, he's still in Vegas, inside Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. How much are tickets for Chris Angel at Planet Hollywood? Let's see, April 2nd, 7 p.m. So we're late. April 2nd, 7 p.m. for 2 tickets. Checking availability. And that part where it just shows what you call that Stu's a sweet guy. Okay, we'll have to check for tomorrow because the availability for tonight is gone. So tomorrow night it'd be Alice Cooper with Chris Angel, and tickets are like $215 each for section 303. That's pretty far back. And then for section like 102, which is like pretty close to the front there, like front row, they're like $600 each, like $669 each. That's crazy. I'd go to Chris Angel for, I guess, for $200 if I had to. Like, if I go to Vegas, I would definitely have to go see Chris Angel. The champ. Oh Lord. Total gangster move. But yeah, this scene's gangster, makes Mike Tyson gangster. It's awesome. So I heard two things. I heard two things regarding Mike Tyson's involvement in this movie. Number one, I heard that Mike Tyson said, I heard that, that's word of mouth, so I don't know. But that part's so gangster. But I heard that Mike Tyson took this role because he was going through a hard time with drugs or something, is what I heard. And apparently somebody said that Mike Tyson said he took this movie to support his drug habit. I don't know how truthful that is, but I also heard a second thing. I heard a second thing where Mike Tyson took this movie because he enjoys Todd Phillips and the movies that Todd Phillips makes, which to me that seems more believable than the other one. But he's the champ, Mike Tyson, best in the world. Once upon a time there, and still tough as nails. Looked like he had to throw that Jake Paul fight though back there, but whatever. Long time ago. I love that Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was like, had a couple of podcasts with Mike Tyson, and he made the table bigger after having a podcast with Mike Tyson because, he was worried that Mike Tyson was going to do something. And yeah, man, Mike Tyson's, he'll always be the champ. You know what I mean? That highlight reel is unmatched. An unmatched highlight reel. 100%. I still wish he knocked out Jake Paul, but oh well. Good for Anthony Joshua though, but the Anthony Joshua thing, that was gutsy of Paul to do, but that's enough about that. Yeah, Ed Helms is actually a really good musician in real life, right? So I love the little songs that he makes in all three hangovers. Oh, and I missed my favorite part. Tigers love pepper. They hate cinnamon. But in 2026, tigers love driving under the influence. They hate cops. Shit out of luck. Cool. Yeah, Stu is always worrying. I mean, I'd be worried too. I'd totally be the Stu in this part. Where like, by the way, we're all gonna die if we're moving this tiger. We're fucked. No, something as simple as bumping the tiger's head against the wall. Fucking hilarious. I don't remember this elevator scene that well, so it's definitely part of the unrated, right? It's got to be. I don't know what that was, but I think it was like it seemed like commitment issues like coming up in Bradley Cooper's character or something after when he sees the family in the elevator. I'm gonna find out when the next Halley's Comet is now. When's the next Halley's Comet? Halley's? July 28, 2061. Man, I love that kind of bit. Like where a wild animal becomes alive again inside of the vehicle. And they use that same kind of bit in Tommy Boy, I think it is, where the deer they hit with their vehicle, which kind of looks like a Mercedes, but the deer they hit with their vehicle like comes to life again. It's such a good comedy bit. Tommy Boy did it first, but no, but the tiger is hilarious. So hilarious. Or when the raccoon sneaks into the car for Harold and Kumar, stuff like that's funny. Man, I refilled this with tap water. You could just like taste the shit. Tastes like rust or something. Mike Tyson's gloves in the background. A couple samurai swords. I'm wondering, did they actually use Mike Tyson's real place? Right? Just curious. In the movie The Hangover, where did they film Mike Tyson's house? The scenes for Mike Tyson's house in The Hangover were filmed at a real mansion located in the gated community of Seven Hills in Henderson, Nevada. Okay, cool. Like I understand movie magic and all that, but didn't Mike Tyson live in Las Vegas then? They could have used his actual mansion. That's why I asked. I love hypocrisy jokes like that as well. That's so funny. I've never seen a more beautiful creature. Fuck this tiger. So good. Mike Tyson's shorts behind Ed Helms. Alan trying to find a way out of the mansion. So I'm always trying to look for like the signs and stuff like in the background, just to see if they tie into the movie, or to see if they're just like funny and worth mentioning and stuff like that. I love the way they did that scene. So realistic looking. Yeah, and that transition from completely naked Ken Jeong to gangster Ken Jeong, so good. Yeah, Chow's awesome. Chow, so cold. Hell yeah. But yeah, Ken. But yeah, this movie, like this franchise, like put Ken Jeong like right there in comedy. Like even got like his own shows and a bunch of other movie deals and all that shit after this, right? Like so good, so good. I wonder if that's actually Mike Epps. Like if you've seen this movie before, you know that they got a mistaken identity and it's a different dog. I'm just wondering if that's Mike Epps with that in that scene. So it is interesting the way they tie this part of the Hangover movie with the third, right? Like with the third Hangover movie. And like as far as like the third Hangover movie goes, so like it had its funny moments, and like like when Alan was singing Ave Marie, and like the draft was kind of funny and stuff like that, but there's a certain seriousness in the Hangover Part 3 that I wish it was more about comedy, but yeah, like I said, that Todd Phillips quote earlier was his movies get darker and darker, and yeah, The Hangover, it totally gets darker and darker. Fuck, I want pizza. It's April 1st. Trying to start saving money for summer vacation. And man, do I ever want pizza right now. Pizza and soda pop. Perfect. Perfect parody of Rain Man. The idea that counting cards is illegal is ridiculous, because how could you not count cards in your own head while you're playing the game? You know what I mean? It's impossible not to count cards unless, you know what I mean? I don't know. But like in a 5 shoe deck, a 5 deck shoe, like, I mean, it prevents a lot, and then they switch, stuff like that. But I don't know, you're still kind of like, okay, the last hand had like 3 like face cards dealt to me and the dealer. You're still kind of like, it's still going in there. So I've always thought counting cards as illegal was ridiculous, but that's Vegas. Them's the rules. Joker and the thief in the night. Joker and the thief in the night. It's a good song. So originally, like when casting the movie, originally they tried to get Jack Black to play Alan or something like that, and then originally they tried to get Paul Rudd to play Phil. That one I can see 100%. I could totally see Bradley Cooper and Paul Rudd being interchangeable there almost. Still, I mean, it's better with the Cooper, obviously, but like you get it. And then I would have loved this idea. I would have loved it, but apparently to play Stu, they wanted to get Jeremy Piven. That would have been fucking awesome, I think. But Ed Helms is still cool. There's a certain I don't know, wholesomeness or innocence that Ed Helms has that's just a little bit more than Piven, right? I mean that as a compliment too. Like I'm a huge Jeremy Piven fan. So Ari Gold as Entourage, one of my favorites. So if he played Stu, that would have been pretty cool. Most I've ever won inside a casino, man, not that much. $300, stuff like that. Oh wait, there's this one time I was playing poker, and it was like Joker poker, and I ended up getting a royal flush, and that was $1,000. That was awesome, but that wasn't in a casino. That was in a Chinese food restaurant in Winnipeg. Thought I read that that was ad libbed, where Zach Galifianakis was singing that. It's pretty funny. Has a certain charm to it. The deal. I like that quality of Alan where he kind of just thinks he knows everything. That's funny. Sorry, I'm into the movie right now. It's such a good movie. It's 5-star movie for me. 5-star movie. They made this movie on like 35 million, and like to this day, its worldwide earnings are 469 million, which is phenomenal, especially for a comedy. Like to get times like times 14 your money back or something like that. Like that's amazing. Day. Yeah, Mike Epps in Friday. I mean, next Friday and Friday after next. So good as a Day. I like that. Like I said, I like the way they connect the like a classic trilogy, right? Like they connect the third movie with the first movie, and the way Doug is about to mention John Goodman's character's name from The Hangover 3. I love how Zach Galifianakis' character looks up to Stu and like imitates him. It's funny. I'm bunking with Stu. Mike Epps recently had a special released on Netflix. Still got it. Still got it. Still a funny stand-up comedian. And I can't remember where I saw him in a different show. It might have been like Blackish or something like that with Anthony Anderson. I can't remember though where I saw him before, but yeah, Mike Epps is awesome. Marshall, that's his name. Flores. Tackles him. Knocked the wind out of Phil. Yeah, that chick was in Starsky and Hutch, but I can't remember her name. It's another one of Todd Phillips' movies. Starsky and Hutch was so good, dude. Like, I think there's like Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller, and like Vince Vaughn, and just like Snoop Dogg, I think, or yeah, you know what I mean. Like, just such a good movie too. So basically, Hangover, Old School, Road Trip, Starsky and Hutch. I can't decide between those. If I had to choose my favorite Todd Phillips movie, I'll explain here. I choose Road Trip to support the home team, and it's hilarious at the same time. And when I say support the home team, I mean our guy Tom Green is in it, and Tom Green is the shit. Tom Green also had another special out. I believe it was last year, some like called "I've Got a Mule." He did another good special there. Check out "I've Got a Mule" by Tom Green. Love the uplifting music for finding their buddy. I should have just got Mark Norman to play that part that Justin Bartha plays. I'm just joking, but Trump Tower in the back, Treasure Island. Man, I want to go to Vegas. When I was younger, I had a job as a roofer, and I loved the job. I didn't respect myself enough to like keep that job when I was younger. But yeah, dude, it's fucking scorching hot on those rooftops. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like Las Vegas, top of the Caesars, Caesar's Palace Hotel there. Aw, here comes Heather Graham's final scene in the Hangover. Originally, Heather Graham, I thought they offered Lindsay Lohan the part, and Lindsay Lohan was like, I think I don't know if the film's going to do that well. Plus, she's a little bit of a sketchy character. I'm not going to do it. And then later on, apparently, Lindsay Lohan really regretted not taking the role that Heather Graham nailed. I've given a ring to two women. I've bought, the second one I bought for. Okay, I'm gonna explain it. The first time that I got engaged, I bought her an engagement ring, and then the second time I got in, I gave her the engagement ring the first time I got engaged, and then the second time I got engaged, she asked me, the second time I got engaged, this woman asked me to marry her, and I said yes to marrying her, and I went out and got a ring and all that stuff. Around the same time, I caught her cheating a couple of days later, and because I caught her cheating, she framed me and basically destroyed my freedom in my life from 2021 until 2029 because I caught her cheating. That's a true story. That's what happened. But then the third time, I got engaged, I asked a woman to marry me, and I gave her the ring that I was originally going to give the woman who asked me to marry her. And when I gave the woman that, the third engagement there, when I gave her the ring, I thought she was a nice person. And recently, like, I mean, for we were together for like 3 years or whatever, off and on, and the reason we broke up every time was because she was always cheating and lying and shit like that. And honestly, if she was an honest person, then we would be together today. But yeah, like, I recently got proof that she was cheating the entire, like, I got picture proof, all that stuff, and I got the confession from her and all that stuff. So that's why I finally cut her out of my life. But before I got the confession, I was kind of dwindling, going back and forth, having a relationship with my, third ex-fiance. So I got engaged 3 times, and yeah, I wasn't ready for the first one. I wasn't ready for relationships from the first one, but I was ready for a relationship for the second and the third. But the second and the third are cheaters. But sometimes that's just how some women are. Yeah, just the way it goes. But yeah, just the ring brought it up there when Heather Graham gave Ed Helms back the Holocaust ring. So I thought I would explain the times where I almost got married. With my third fiance, I actually signed a piece of paper before the ceremony and all that stuff. But then, like, I caught her being unfair and all that shit. Like, she's always sexting on my bed and stuff. So it's just, I didn't end up marrying her. And I don't know if I'll ever get married. I mean, we checked the Elvis package. Maybe one day I'll go to Vegas with somebody I love and care about. We'll get married then. Are there many black ties when it comes to groomsmen? Like, they're dressed like Reservoir Dogs, and it looks fucking awesome. Like, Reservoir Dogs is awesome. But, like, are there many black ties for grooms and groomsmen? I don't know. Doesn't seem like a black tie affair is all I'm saying. But it still looks cool in the movie form, right? They look like they're in Reservoir Dogs. I like how he says it's a long story, but his story is pretty short, right? Like, oh yeah, I got drunk with Ellen and I ended up on a roof. That's his story. So it's not that much of a long story. But I guess the explanation part would be like, yeah, Ellen drugged us. Oh, this guy's so funny. This guy was so hilarious in what was it? Old School, I think it was. He was a wedding singer for Will Ferrell's wedding in Old School. But yeah, that guy was hilarious at that one wedding in Old School. It was like, I need you now tonight. I fucking need you more than ever. This part. Just that look that Jeffrey Tambor gives the wedding singer is so funny. I've never argued like that in public, but I've had crazy ex-girlfriends who screamed so loud that they got banned from my building. That was crazy. This part's so good, dude. I love this part where he comes to his senses finally. He's a dentist, and he deserves better, lady. Been there. Fuck yeah. I love the way like Stu, Phil, and Doug all like hell yeah, Stu. Yeah, like they're just brothers to the end, man. Brothers to the end. Such a good movie. There's a John Grisham book in Jeffrey Tambor's collection. $1,400 wedding cake. I feel like I can put a wedding cake together myself if I wanted to, and I don't even know how to bake that well. But to actually do it. Wow, I've never seen this part before. I don't think I've ever watched the unrated version before. What the hell's the matter with me? I bought this and I was like, I'm going to podcast it. But I've seen it so many times before when I was, and it's always been the theatrical version, I think. Because in this unrated version, they actually wrap up the storyline of, the father-in-law giving the Mercedes to Doug. So it wraps that storyline up nicely. I could see why they could cut it out of the theatrical version, but still, good closure. Hell yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I fucking love all these party pictures at the end there. And like all of the little cameos they start adding and shit like that. Well, I know about all of them, but I know that Carrot Top shows up in a bit. Yeah, this song was really like, this song was a hit back in the day. She got my money around. But yeah, man, that was two Las Vegas fantasy movies in a row in a way, right? And they asked Carrot Top to be in this movie, and he was like, Carrot Top was like, I don't do cocaine or anything like that. And I was like, no, it'll be funny. I was like, fine, we'll give it a shot. And it turned out to be hilarious. Dude, this is the second movie in a row where Wayne Newton has a cameo. Hell yeah. I guess he is one of those, Godfathers of Vegas, though, so. Hell yeah. Okay. That was it right there. The unrated version of The Hangover 2009. Man, I fucking love that movie. It is a 5-star movie, and until I stop watching movies, I'll always consider that one of the best comedies of all time. So, let's wrap up this episode of Antisocial Commentary number 11 for the movie The Hangover. Before I, click my scene card here, I would just like to say that these numbers here, take 75. Fuck, that'd be a long day, right? But like, basically, these numbers here, we got January 5th, 1975. So that's Bradley Cooper's birthday that I decided to put on there just as a tribute and homage there, because he's like one of my favorite actors. And as far as like the movie Is This Thing On goes, I thought he did a really good job of what you call it, filming and directing Is This Thing On. In fact, I think Is This Thing On is actually on one of the streaming channels I have, so I think I'm going to watch that again tonight there. It was a really good one. And yeah. Anyways, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Hangover 2009 Antisocial Commentary, episode number 11. Here we go. Cut. Thank you for watching.